All right, class. Let's take a look at how to use line weights, line types, and color, I guess in this case, to add tabs and develop a assembly vocabulary for your models. Okay, so this is the first thing. Let's go to your top view. Let's see the work from the top. Change your display mode to shaded so that we can see how things are. Um, it should look something like this. Now, it might seem that this is ready to be used to assemble, but we could actually help ourselves by doing a couple more things. Okay, the first thing is actually using the make 2D command. Select objects to draw. These are the objects to draw. Press enter when done. This dialog box pops up. Let's go ahead and keep maintain source objects. We don't want the scene silhouettes, and ideally we don't want to group it. So actually, projection like that. I guess those settings will work. Click OK. And before you click anywhere, I don't know. For example, here it sent my work all the way over there. I can click on here on this little icon and bring it closer over here. And that's part of the reason why I wanted us to change the display mode, because we can actually see now that contrary to the model or the drawings on this left side, these right here are surfaces, right? This right here on my right, this should be now curves, right? CRVs, and that's actually going to be helpful for us. Okay, so we're gonna clear this thing out, and let's take a look right here. So one of the things that we need to talk about, it's about assembly, and here's a thing. Here's an example. Remember I talked about developing our vocabulary of assembly. We have, so you probably have not oh, actually yes, in your cross model, right, which actually this is sort of like that, almost half of a cross, right? I mean, you had your plus sign, you had that like that, right? Well, just like in the plus sign model, in the one that we have right here as well, drawn in Rhino, you'll notice that there's some moments where we have there's two kinds of folds, right? So we can actually, in this case, right, fold, right, like that, right? That's folding sort of like inward, right? I mean, it's kind of like we want to enclose things, right? So we're kind of like folding like that, and you can actually make a box and it's going to be enclosed, right? But there's another kind of fold where you're folding like this one over here when you're folding outwards. So this face, for example, right? If it was being folded inwards, right, it would actually kind of like enclose this thing right here, but it is not, right? That face or that surface was actually folded outwards, right? It was folded outwards. So we have a moment where we fold in, and we have a moment where we fold out, and it's going to become, it might already been evident to you, but it's going to become not only more evident to us with our models, but necessary to understand when we fold in and when we fold out. And I guess one way to differentiate between that, it's we can call our folds in, right? So I'll place that right here, maybe, right? So fold in, we can call this a montine fold, and we can call our montine out, I'm sorry, our fold out, we can call this a valley fold. So now we know that this kind of fold, it's a valley, and this kind of fold is a mountain. And well, it's the idea, right? I mean, it's again, now if you see this sort of like an elevation or section, right, that's our let me redo that. All right, that right here, this is our mountain, right? And you can kind of like see that's a mountain. And then all the bottom from the mountain, what do you get, right? Where two mountains kind of meet, right? Let's say that's snow or something. You actually get a valley, which this is the valley right there. So that's why, again, this resembles the mountain fold, and this is the valley fold. And notice that it's different directions, right? So this one gets you that, and that one gets you that. Okay, great. Now that we know that, we can develop a couple more layers. I'm going to create a layer right here, a new layer, and I'm going to call this assembly. Okay, and I'm going to create a couple of sub layers. Right, I'm going to create a cut layer. I'm going to create a mountain layer. I'm going to create a valley layer. I want to create a labels layer. Okay, that's going to become important for us. All right, so and I'll illustrate. Right, and this is where, again, maybe a little bit of reverse engineering is going to be necessary. So let's see, I'm going to select all of this. I'm going to move it right here to the, whoops. I'm going to select all of this. I'm going to move it to the right, and I'm going to type copy, and I'm going to leave one of these guys right here for the record right there as a copy. And I'm going to work with these two objects right here. Okay, I'm going to maybe bring this closer over here. So as you can see on this example right here on my screen, set view top, I've started to denote a couple of things, right? So we have cut layer. It's this blue right here. Well, that's all of these outlines right here, but also right here. That means that here, I'm going to grab my X-Acto knife right here, right? And I'm actually literally going to cut right here, anywhere that it's blue right here, right? So we cut all of that outline. But, right, where it says mountain, right, we do a mountain fold, which is like these examples right here. But then we also have the other condition, which is the valley, which is this condition over here, where we fold the opposite direction, right? Where again, we end up with a valley, or a valley like that, right? We're folding outwards, right? Again, it's a little bit like what's outwards, what's inwards, right? So that's why maybe hopefully the mountain and valley helps. And then additionally, we start seeing that we have tabs that correspond to certain sides. So we know that this side ultimately has to line up with this side right here, right? We have a number 4, right? We actually know that this guy right here has to end up all the way over here, right? Number 1 with number 1, right? That means that this 2 goes with this 2 over here, this 3 with this 3, etc., etc. This 6 with this 6. Right? So that's the kind of graphical vocabulary that we want to develop in order to assemble our models. Okay, so let's take a look at how to do that. So we can start by tackling, I guess, the easy ones, or the straightforward ones, which again, this is going to require for everyone to, you know, go ahead and close this out, and also layout, close it. This can go over here now. I'll close this so we have more room. So here's an easy one. You know, I mean, again, it is going to require you to. It's a puzzle. It really is a puzzle. So you'll be exercising your puzzle making skills. Okay. So I'll illustrate. So we know that this right, all of this right here actually needs to stand up, right? So it actually needs to do something like this right here. So we actually need to flip it like that, right? So then we know that that's a fold. And what kind of fold is that? I would assign that as a mountain, all right? So I select that line and change it to a mountain layer. Except that it would really help if we actually have color for these layers, okay? So, and it really doesn't matter the colors. I'll just pick something that is different or contrasting from the color that you already have right here. So for example, my cut, I can leave that, I don't know, I'll leave my cut as a pink like that. And then I'll do my mountain, maybe, you know, maybe I'll do a blue like that. And then I'll do my valley as maybe an orange. And then my levels, I would suggest to bring those to a light gray, very light gray. I'm gonna assign that. And you see now that this fold right here change color. Okay, so we know that that's a fold, and that's a mountain fold. All right, and if you want, if it helps you, you can actually sort of like repeat the process. I can now do a rotate 3D. This is the axis, this is the angle right here, and now I'm going back to the assembly portion of this. All right. Oh, here's an easy one. We know that. Oops. Mouse. Hold on. My mouse just. All right. We know that. Mouse is dying. 1 second. Let me plug this back in. Can you spot which ones we can try next easily? Now, as we do that, also keep in mind, which we'll do right now, is your tabs for assembly. Okay, so yeah, it's this one right here, because what's that? That's a fold, right? What kind of fold is that? A mountain. Okay, so select that line right there. Let's change it to our color. Okay, and another couple of easy ones would be, say, this one's right here, right? Because again, I know that I have to fold these two, right? So rotate 3D. This is my axis right here. This is my angle, right? Because that one needs to come there, right? And this one, right, needs to come like that, right? So that means that both those two are mountain folds, right? Because they're folding inwards. And look at that, we already have these pieces right here. Okay, and so is this one right here, this one. Okay, now we've reached an interesting point, because not only do we know that these assemble this way, but we actually know that we need to actually somehow attach these two ends, which is this end and this end here. So what could we use in order to do so? Well, you've done it already, right? Which are what? Tabs, right? Tabs, and we can draw those, right? Fairly easy. So what I would suggest is that probably, and you guys will determine this as you start assembling this and seeing if it works for you or how it's working for you. But if we do an offset and click right here, it says distance. Distance is 0.25. Enter. Right. I'm gonna offset this line upwards like that. Then I'm gonna do a line. I'm gonna use this line right here, and I can it used to be able to give you that smart. Oh, there it is, like that smart. If you have your smart track on, which I suggest that you do, you'll see that I'll repeat that, right? So if I type line, you can kind of like click there and then sort of like bring that smart guide right here, but then go to the opposite side and then click right there on the intersection. I can then type trim, select this right here, trim that out, type mirror, right? Select this right here, enter, go to my midpoint, hold shift and mirror that right there. Then I can what? Trim this right here, trim that there, and bam. Okay. Now I got a tab on this end right here that when I fold inwards, it's going to help me secure that face with that face over there. And what we will actually see if we were actually making this, right, it would be on the inside, we would have a tab. Let's do that. Right, we would actually have a tab right here. Okay. All right. Cool. Now, this allow us to understand right then that this what kind of assembly line is that? Is that a cut, mountain, valley, or label? Well, we know that we're not cutting it, right? Because we're actually using it to assemble. So we know we need it there. So it's going to be a, that's right, it's going to be a mountain, all right? Because again, it's going to fold inwards and it's going to help us secure that face to that face right there. Now we also now know something else, that we're actually cutting around this right here because we are cutting those, right? So actually we can change that now to a cut layer. Okay, and that's the idea. Not only that, but we can also now bring in some labels. So I can type text. This window comes out, and I can type 1, and then I press Control Enter, and then I bring that big old text right there, selected, change its layer right here to label. Okay, great. Now I want that one to be smaller, so I'm going to select on that note right there, hold Shift, scale it down, and then bring this guy right there. So that's a 1. And I can copy that, and I know that that one corresponds to that side right there. Okay, so far so good, right? And then now we also know, I'm gonna move this maybe closer. We also know that this side right here corresponds to that side right there. This side right here, yellow, corresponds to this side right there, yellow. And this blue right here corresponds to this blue side right there. So we can add, either add, right? We can either add a tab right here, or we can add it right here. But I would say that you ideally don't want to have it in both. So you either get rid of that one or this one over here. Now, it depends. Some are easier, I guess, experience, and again, as you move forward to them, and honestly, as you start assembling them, I think those decisions are easier to make. But we'll do our best as we're working on this right now, because as you can see, I have actually selected the tabs to be on this end right here. Okay, so I can do that. So an easy way to do this would be to type copy, select that right there, and actually select that number as well, from there to there. And then I'm going to type rotate, but the regular rotate, select it, select that, enter, click, click, click. Nice, right? And then I can actually move this guy right here. But this is now going to be, let's say, 2. enter. And I think actually this one will be smaller. So I'm looking at that. Hold shift, right, and take copy, right, and I can do that right there. Okay, and now we know that that line as well is a what? It's a fold. What kind of fold? A mountain fold. Okay, so notice how we're taking inventory. Anything that it's green right now, it hasn't been resolved, and it ultimately needs to be one of these three colors right now. Ooh, let me change that pen color. Right, so we know that anything that is green needs to be one of these colors right here. So we can continue, right? We can copy this to there. Right, this could be now 3, enter. And which one does that one match? Well, we know from our model that that end is this top side, right? Which this corresponds with this side right here. All right, so then it's easy, right? We can then determine that this is 3, 3, right? And then we can copy, right? This right here. Oops, copy from there to there, right? You can type move there to there, ext e for extend. Select boundary object, that'll be this object right there, enter, click on that, and it extends, escape, click right here, 4, we have that right there, and we now know that this side right here is number 4, and we also know that these guys right here are what? Mountain folds. Right? But then we also now know that this right here, it's a cut, and all of these are being cut because we don't need tabs on them, right? We don't need tabs on them because again, this side, it's gonna have, or is gonna be attached to this tab over here, right? Because this guy, well, let's not do that. This side, right? I mean, does that right there, and then it comes right here, and then it does that. And then it does that and that and that right there, that right there, and this right here, right? That's what. Well, actually, this kind of like continues over here, but anyway, we start little by little. Now we also know that actually, is this going to be a fold? No, that's actually going to be a what? Actually, all of that is going to be a cut. Right, actually we need to be able to separate this right here so that again it you're able to fold it, right, and do that assembly part right here. Okay, so so we can change that. We can change that. Okay, let's see. So from there, I guess I can already rotate this one, rotate 3D. This is my axis, this is my angle, and kind of like close that lid right there. Okay, now we also know that this surface needs to fold inwards so that this side and this side match, right? So put an X and an X. Okay, and then here's the question, right? Where do we do the tap? Do we do the tap right here, or do we do the tap over here? It really is up to you. Again, there will be, I guess there is a logic to be developed right there, but you see that I have chosen to add it right here. So again, I can copy one of these ones over here. So actually, we can do something like this. I can copy that right there from there to there, and I can copy that from there to there, and I can copy that from there to there, and I can type extend right? And then from there to there, enter. And I guess that could be our 5. The numbers on the example that I'm using right here don't match necessarily with what we're going on this example now, what we're doing in this example now. So it could be call this 5, control enter. Then I can copy this right here, place it right there, and I actually know that I can cut that line right there, right? Because I don't need a tap on that, and I know also that this is a fold. It's a mountain fold. Okay, so we got that assembly right there. Okay. Let's see. What else can we do? So we can lift this thing up right here. So I'm going to select all of this. All right. Rotate 3D axis angle right there. All right, so we have flipped that up. Okay. And here is a, well, okay, so then we know that this is a what? Fold. And it's a mountain fold. Okay, because that end, right, matches this end right here. Now actually here's an interesting part, right, that is coming. We have this condition right here, but this needs to fold. Does it need to fold inwards or outwards? Well, it needs to fold outwards, right? So we actually can denote that, right, in our key. So actually this is now a fold, but it's a valley, and we'll see how that looks right now. All right, see how that looks right now. And we also know that that point is this point right here. So we either need a tap here or we need a tap here. And I guess, like I said, it really depends on what you find to work for you in terms of fabrication. But you know, let's say that, where would you put it? I mean, we can put it right here and see how that works. You know, I'm not sure why I feel that maybe we can add it over here. Well, now here's the thing. Well, no, yeah, it is a cut. So, okay, I can copy. All right, I can copy this, 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 and there to there. And then this is actually 6. And this is 6. And since we have the top over here, we know that this can be a cut. Right? And we also know then that this right here is going to match this right here, or it should. Right? So we can do that. So I can bring that over here, this over here, and this over here. And we're going to copy this right here. We can call this 7. We can call this 7. And we know that then that's going to be a what? Cut. And then we know then that this should match this right here. Right? So we can, I guess, keep on going with this side. So I can do, check this out, I can do a mirror. Select that, I'm not going to select the number actually, that, select that midpoint, do that, copy. I was holding shift, by the way, so that you can mirror that, right? And then we do an 8 right here. And then we can do an 8 over here. And we know that that's a cut. And we know that all of these are holding control. I'm holding shift. And we know that these are all mountain folds, right? Because we're folding them inwards. Okay. And we now get, well, and then here's the thing, right? So this is a valley, right? Which is this valley right here. This line is this line right there. So this is a mountain, right? And this is a mountain, right? However, what's this one over here, right? Because now we've gotten to this point. So now we have our valley, right? So this line right here, I think, should be a valley, if I'm not mistaken. And we know that all of this ones right here, including actually, we know this one, this one, this one, are actually a mountain fold. Okay, and the last one will also be a mountain fold. We know that. Okay, and so we continue and continue. So that's going to be 8, and then we know that this is going to be 9. This is going to be 9 over here. So you can actually continue right with our tabs on this side right here and see how that ends up working. If you have perhaps a better idea of where it should go, by all means. Because again, you've done this process already. I'm just kind of like helping you with the software here, but the assembly, you've done it, so you have a better understanding of actually what works best, right, for your methods. Okay, so that's that right there. So this is 9. And we know that that's a cut. We know that's a fold. Right? And then lastly, we know that we can use a tap over here, right, to secure, let's say, 10 with, is this right? Yeah, with 10 right here, right? So we can, but it will be this side right here, right? So we can do a tap right here. From, let's, I guess, oh, there it is. So I'll copy this, 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 this. Right, right. This is now 10. Too big. Hold shift. Move it. Place it. Copy. So 10 is that side right there. And we know that this is also a fold mountain. Okay. And this is a cut. So let's see how that starts looking. Right. So here we go. Select all of these right here, including that. And then, is this selected? Yeah. Then let's do a rotate 3D. That's my axis. This is my angle. Right. So I got that right there. And that's the valley that we're talking about, which is this one right there. Okay, great. Let's go for this fold, which is this fold right here. So I can hold control to remove that object from my selection. Type rotate 3D. This is my axis. This is my angle. Bam. All right. So that would be 7 right there, which is 7 right here. Okay. And then I can remove this 3 objects from the left. And then rotate rotate 3D. This is my axis. This is my angle. Oops, except that I forgot to deselect that one. Rotate 3D one more time. Here to here. Oops, wrong axis. There to there. Or to there. There it is. Right. So we're at 8, side 8. And then there's our other valley, right, which is this one right here. All right, so we're good. Check. Hold control, uncheck that one. Rotate one more time, 3D. Axis right here. Lift it up like that. Excellent. All right. And then we have our last one. So uncheck that one. Rotate 3D. That's my axis. Angle to match that one. And we end up with our, what was it? I think 10, side 10 and 10, which is this one over here. Okay. All right. Not bad, right? It's cool. Okay. I'm going to add another tab over here, now looking downwards, so that I can actually attach this other end that we cannot fully see, because we know that we need that piece, right? Is that lid right there? That's this piece right here. Right? It should be. It has to be. It has to be. Okay. Oops. So let's maybe this is a good place to pause, to break for a little bit. All right. So I'll let you guys catch up with that, and we'll come back and finish the assembly. Okay. Right back.